Just recently, I saw a video on YouTube, and it was a sports video, and what it was this man was running back. He was into the end zone. He was going to catch the ball in the end zone, and the ball came, and he dropped the ball, and he fumbled it, and everybody went, "Oh God, what's going on?" But he picked it, but he got it, and he decided to run. And he decided he was going to run with it. He was number 20, and there were two guys on either side, number 13 and number 21. And all of a sudden, you could see between the two of them that they knew that he was going to go for it, that he was going to go for the touchdown. And they made that decision that they were going to make sure that he did that. And so you could just see them running. And they were running, their feet were running in line, and because and just as they almost got to the touchdown, somebody came up and number 21 just hit them, blocked them out of the way, just get out of the way. We're people with a mission, we're people with determination. And I thought about that, and I thought about, oh, wow, how that was a perfect metaphor for my experience that I had this summer that started in the Philippines and ended up in here now in Tacoma, Washington. And I want to share that touchdown kind of experience and why that is so important to me and what I'm understanding about the unceasing nature of prayer, the transformational power of intention and manifestation and praise and gratitude and collaboration and cooperation and teamwork, and having a commitment to the positive of having the attitude of gratitude, because all of those things experiences over the last 3 months, and I want to share them with you. I was in Manila I had been invited there by one of my next gens, Diana Davis, who wanted me to come and witness her homecoming. And so I came there and spent time with her family and spent time with the dance troupe that her father had been the champion of for 40 years and what troupe was being honored at that moment in the Philippines. That was the occasion we were coming there, and it was really quite marvelous. But halfway through it, I started to get a pain. I started to get a pain in my stomach, and so we and one night I said, take me to the hospital. We went to the hospital, and the guy said, "Oh, it's gastritis or something, but come back in 2 days," because I was supposed to be leaving for the States in 2 days, but we didn't know if I could fly with this gastritis. So we said, okay, cool. And it was that night we went back, and the next morning, there was a woman who came in to clean the place to make sure everything was in order. And she saw that I was in a great deal of pain. And so she said she could help, that she was part of a faith community that believed in the power of prayer, that believed in the power of Jesus and Christ in order to heal people, and also the power of eating, of certain kind of nutritional things that you needed to eat and stuff like that. And she offered to help me, and she thought I needed more reinforcements. And so they took me to what looked like a nunnery. They prayed over me. They had service. People from the community came dressed in white, all sat around, prayed for me. They gave me, things to eat for my stomach. They did a psychic healing and a psychic reading to if I had anything negative or energy, on that should be gone. And while it made the pain bearable, it did not take it away. So we decided we had to go to the hospital anyway before I left. So we left and we went to the hospital, and we waited the longest time for the doctor. And we were going to leave. We were going to go down to the emergency room and just sit there for hours. And this doctor finally walked down the hall, and we sat in the room.
When I listened to your lungs, I was able to hear some sounds from your lungs, which may be the reason why you're a little short of breath. Your heart is beating a little fast also. Okay? That's why I asked you if you have had existing heart conditions, which can explain those. With your situation now, I cannot allow you to travel.
Okay.
A long haul, even a short distance air travel, you're not fit for it.
Okay.
Because something might happen to you.
Okay.
My suggestion is I want you to proceed to the emergency room downstairs. You need an emergency CT scan done to see what's going on inside. You also need a full evaluation of your lungs and your heart. Okay? Because I cannot allow you to go home in a situation like this.
Okay. And he looked at me and I told me his story and he poked my stomach and I went, ow. And he said, you go to emergency right now. That was at 3 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, I was in surgery.
What you find out, but if it's just appendicitis, we just clean you up, take out that pesky appendix, and we'll see if we can feed you already, but we'll take it one piece at a time.
What happened when they went in to fix the appendix, because my appendix had burst and it had burst and there were fluids and stuff like that were kind of like running around. And after they looked into the fluids, they saw that I had cancer in my colon. And so they took out half of my colon. So I wake up and they say, you had cancer, but it's gone. And it's like, what can't, a big blessing, number one. If I hadn't had the appendix burst, they would not found the cancer, and the cancer could have grown as it was. It was just a stage 2, but it would have been undetected. So it was a blessing to be able to have the appendix so they could find the cancer.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here with Mama Joy, okay? And we have been taking care of her. We got the nasty thing out of her body, and we'll continue to take care of her, okay? So we want a lot of blessings for Mama Joy.
But then the cancer, the bile from the appendix gave me pneumonia. And then, so I had to have pneumonia, and that did something weird to my kidneys. So I had to have some whole bunch of IVs, and that did something strange to my lungs. So my breathing was irregular. And I had a nursing team, a doctoral, a hospital team for each of these. I had 7 teams of at least 4 people because in the Philippines they do everything in groups. I had a team on my surgery, a team on my lungs, a team on my kidney, a team. Oh, I got aphis and I got pneumonia, ecoli, and aphis. Aphis, and then I got shingles. But that was the next miracle. I got shingles without the pain. It freaked me out because when they told me I had shingles and they put me in isolation, I I had all these people who I knew who had shingles, and they said it was the most horrible thing in the world in terms of the pain. So I was laying there in bed anticipating the pain, just waiting and waiting for the pain to come from the shingles. And it never came. I got the blisters, but not the pain. So I'm sitting there going, whoa, what is going? I mean, I'm just looking at these blessings about how, yeah, it was a drag. I was in the hospital. Yeah, they couldn't find my veins because I have dancing veins. So they had to have all these people come and shoot me 87 times. But I was in the Philippines that had some of the best medical care in the world. That's what they train. They export health professionals. So the people that were dealing with me were top drawer. The surgeon the guy who did my surgery, another miracle. It turns out what it was the president of the Filipino Surgeons Association. And he had a residency at the hospital and he just happened to be on the floor. And when he saw the severity of my case, he said, I'll take that one. I'm getting all these blessings. I get blessed from people who have ancestral roots. within the Philippine culture, traditions, and herbal kind of understandings. So I'm getting the naturalistic, and then I get the very best allopath, the very best medicals. Another miracle that happened was I had gotten airplane insurance because I wasn't going to get it. I don't want to pay $200 extra. I'm not going to lose my suitcase. But I wasn't until I spent a week trying to get Blue Cross Blue Shield to pick up the bill, and they never did. In fact, they never really answered the phone. That we looked and discovered that my travel insurance would cover all of my medical expenses. So another miracle. So $43,000 was covered by Alliance Insurance. Not only did that happen, I got transported back home first class with a nurse from the Singapore who, as a traveling nurse, who made sure that me and my coloscopy bag were able to navigate, internationally, and delivered me at my friend's house, Marcia Arunga, and she and her family took care of me for 3 months after I got back to the States. And what a miracle that was. It had been so family like in the Philippines. Because people, as I said, not only move in groups, but they do everything in family. And so I was feeling a little sad because I thought, well, I'm going to come home and I'm going to be in my house and I'm going to be kind of alone healing, but I'll be okay. I'll figure out what's going on. And not to have that, not to have an individual experience, but to be taken in and embraced by family and listen to the siblings laugh with each other and tease each other. And Emerald, the dog who came to check on me, it just felt like that healing was okay. But it just kept continuing. It kept continuing. Somehow I ended up getting some home care people. I don't know. I don't even remember signing it. But all of a sudden, these people appeared to change my band-aids once in a while and to do physical therapy. And I had an amazing team of support people who drive me to all the doctors' places and stuff like that. And one of my students who became a friend, it turned out her boyfriend was a medical specialist. And so he came over and would change my band-aids for me. The doctor who, when I got back here, I went to my doctor. They wanted to check and make sure all the cancer was gone because they weren't sure if it was all gone. So they sent me to a cancer specialist. And the cancer specialist was housed on the Puyallup Indian land and was the Salish integrated cancer treatment. So I not only was it required for me to see an oncologist, a doctor, but I also had to see a naturopath who could help me prepare my body for what the oncologist was doing. And they also had rituals and sweats and all sorts of other things for the Puyallup. And I end up a full circle with the ancestors, but the ancestors of the land that I was coming to. And it was so, oh, right, you're coming back to the Northwest, and we, the ancestors here, welcome you and take care of you. So I was just blessed. So I wanted to tell people that because I wanted people to understand that, one, having an attitude of gratitude works. I mean, being able to see, to affirm, to have every day, I just gave thanks. I said, yes, this is going on. This is horrible. This is dark. I'm hurt. It could be so much worse. And I've got some help. And so, and even when I tried to get depressed, I couldn't because I've been working all my life on seeing assets rather than deficits. And all my life I've been working on trying to take something and make lemonade out of lemons. And so why would I stop now, said my body and my mind and my soul. It's like my body was determined that it was going to, come through this. And the doctors were all amazed. My surgeons in Manila and my surgeons here are amazed that as an 80-year-old woman, I have healed quickly and that my body is in total collaboration of putting forth its manifestations. So the three things that I learned and I wanted to share from this experience is, one, the importance of the attitude of gratitude. Second, the importance of having a 21 and a 23 on your team. You know, going back to that, the guy running for the touchdown, but not being able to make it except for his blockers on his either side. And so it's so important to have blockers. It's so important to spend our time working on our relational skills and not on our transactional skills. Understand the power of having a supportive team that has your back, being grateful for being able to have an attitude, being grateful for being able to have a community, for some blockers, and also being grateful for having the patience to just wait for it, to know it's going to come. It's just to sometimes at night I would just go, okay, I know this is not fun today, but tomorrow I'm going to wait for it because tomorrow something's going to happen. I'm going to get some news. Something's going to happen that's going to shift the premise of that day, you know, because that's the nature of life. That's the nature of energy. And that's the nature of locking into that kind of rhythmic kind of thing. For me, I just had an experience in the transforming power of unceasing prayer, of unceasing gratitude, of unceasing praise. So that's what I want to say.
So, Mom, thank you for all your help and service.
Yes,
We
thank
can never
you.
do
Well,
without you.
we're glad to help.
We like keeping this one around.
Yeah, she has a mission.
She has a